If you haven't heard I Need a Himbo, pause this video right now, open a different tab, and look up I Need a Himbo parody. Your life will be changed forever. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Zhariya Smith and I typically make commentary videos just like this one. And today's candle is Lava, a classic, and make sure to subscribe for the bisexual lighting, but I wasn't really feeling very bisexual today because my candle is kind of offsetting the pink vibes, but I promise it is pink. Like, look at my hand. There's pink there, I promise. But about a year ago, I made a video talking about a deep dive into the bimbo aesthetic because this was like during the time when bimbo TikTok was quite literally going crazy. That video that I have has like 13,000 views, which is like crazy. I felt like a celebrity just for like a tiny little moment because of how popular that video was getting. I kind of just wanted to do a follow-up, a part 2 perhaps, of Himbos. So I guess let's get into it. Also, I had to refilm this video because, my microphone wasn't turned on. So I had to double check. It's turned on right now, but it was turned off and I filmed an entire video for like 30 minutes and there was no sound. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is kind of what is a himbo. I'm sure we all are fully aware of the term bimbo, whether it's been used as a slur, as an aesthetic, as whatever you want to call it. You've probably heard the word bimbo before. Himbo is actually one on Wikipedia, and it's called a portmanteau of the words him and bimbo, aka himbo. You gotta combine the vibe. And this is a slang term which is meant for a, Wikipedia says beefy, but vacuous man. Can you tell that I'm a senior in college when I can't even read anything simple? But basically it's kind of meant to be known as a man who is very muscular, very strong, good vibes, but he is just very dumb. Head empty, no thoughts, just a nice, sweet, caring boy with no horrible intentions, and it's just a good vibe. This term dates back to 1988, and the term, has ever since then been on the rise, but as of right now, due to the whole bimbo movement that happened last year, and it kind of still a thing now, Himbos is just skyrocketing, and I just love to capitalize whenever there is a trend happening right now. More so, not even boys proclaiming to be Himbos, but LGBT people talking about how they want to be with the himbo really bad and talking about being with the himbo, which is really interesting because the bimbo TikTok was kind of all about I'm a bimbo and I do this and that, but it's just like about people talking about how they want to be with the himbo, which is really, really funny to me. In my past video, I talked about himbos, and I basically was talking about some examples of himbos. Like I said, John F. Kennedy from Clone High, and people found it really funny that my ADHD brain said their head is empty, like JFK from Clone High, and people wanted to say, oh, well, the real JFK's head is empty too. Don't do dark humor in my comments, though it was really funny. What if there was a Kennedy watching that video and they were deeply hurt from that joke that you made in my comment section? But all jokes aside, there are people like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, Andy from Parks and Rec. Love him. I will say though that recently on like himbo TikTok, there have been a lot of people who have kind of been removing themselves from the himbo being so muscular and more so focusing on really stupid but really, really sweet men, which I find really interesting. But I will say that the term himbo still does apply to like muscular men, but I will say like there are a lot of people who have been just, saying anyone can be a himbo these days, which I think also kind of ties into the bimbo movement where it's like anybody can be a bimbo. Same vibe, but yeah, just wanted to add that in. If you watch My Hero Academia, there's a movie coming out soon, so you definitely should watch that. All Might is the king of himbos. Like, it's crazy. In general, the himbo is someone who is, kind of like non-threatening. I feel like that there are a lot of stereotypes of men where it's like, oh, they're strong, stupid, and they hit you. You know, there's a lot of male stereotypes in male, I almost said genres, is breeds. No, breeds sounds like they're animals. But, you know, there's different archetypes of men. And I feel like that the himbo has just been on such a rise and has just been more favorable. And I think that is something to talk about and to examine. So next I want to talk about the male gaze himbo versus the female gaze himbo, because we just love talking about the male gaze and female gaze on this channel, clearly. But sociologist Michael Kimmel, in his book Manhood in America, A Cultural History, he says that there are two different types of himbos: those created for women, like the model Fabio, and those created for men like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. The man's himbo is usually known for having some kind of prowess, like Charles Atlas or Stallone, whereas women's himbo is kinder and gentler, like Woody Harrelson or like Fabio. Now, in my male gaze versus female gaze video, a lot of people were having some reservations about me saying that like Thor is male gaze, whereas Loki is female gaze. And people were like, they don't understand, you know, what that means. And I mean gaze, not like gaze. I feel like I have to constantly say that because it sounds very similar. But you know, male gaze himbos are just like, it's almost like really weird because I feel like that men believe that women want to see beefy, muscly men who like to break things and, you know, cause havoc, which is not the typical woman, not in terms of the female gaze, I should say, would like. They're very much like the manly man, like kind of not toxic masculinity, but just very much like he's really stupid, but he makes up for it for being like really strong and hitting people and, you know, being a wrestler or a boxer or anything like that. Whereas the female gaze himbo is sweet and kind and gentle and is muscly, but is not going to, you know, cause harm to you, or could cause harm to you, but it's like not as scary. I know, you know, in the US, women typically have to be fighting for their lives all the time. So it's nice to be refreshing, you know, but people don't understand with the female gaze himbo is that women just want someone who is like, it's nice to be with a guy who just wants to have fun and takes himself so seriously and, you know, isn't trying to kind of prove his masculinity to you. It's just kind of there and just is happy to be there. I recently went to a Harry Styles concert last week. It was so nice. But I went to a Harry Styles concert and the amount of himbo boyfriends and beautiful Amazonian, they were lots, all girls, with like their beautiful girlfriends. Like, it was just so refreshing to see like the himbo boyfriend was willing to go to see Harry Styles with his girlfriend, even if he didn't even like them that much, because he just likes to be there. He just likes to have fun and be nice and gentle and kind, which is not very common for a lot of men, which is why women are more drawn to the archetype, because it's kind of like, oh, this one probably isn't going to kill me. So I feel like people don't tend to understand that. I feel like that when we talk about the men, what men think women want with the male gaze and being a himbo, like no woman, well, I won't say no women, but a lot of women don't want to be with someone who they feel like that their lives are going to be threatened. You can make the argument that Deadpool could be a himbo of sorts, though he is very smart. But, you know, it's kind of refreshing. I feel like that there are different types of guys that a lot of women date, and I feel like that it's very common to date, like, a nice guy who turns out being actually a secret incel. Women have basically, the synopsis of the section is that women have to constantly fight for their lives, and are also always terrified. So it's nice to have a refreshing moment of, this guy is muscly, but he's also really sweet and kind, and this is the type of himbo that I'm seeing on TikTok all the time, where women are talking about how they just want a nice, strong, stupid guy like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, and I think that's lovely. I think that's great. But next I want to get into golden retriever boys. Urban Dictionary describes a golden retriever boy as a male who is goofy and gullible, yet very loyal and protective, is often confused but excited, and just wants to make others laugh, like a literal golden retriever. If you've never been around a golden retriever, be around one. They're literally such amazing, cute, nice dogs. Definitely would recommend having one. But I see people have confusion about golden retriever boys versus himbos. So I would say for an example. Noah Beck would be an example of a golden retriever boy, right? You catch where I'm going? But Noah Centineo would be a himbo. Because Noah Centineo, if you've ever heard him doing like, award acceptance speeches, or him in interviews, or him doing literally anything, he just seems very like, and this obviously isn't hateful, like obviously, but just gives off very much no thoughts, head empty energy. Like, it's very funny. Whereas Noah Beck is smart. He does have, something going for him, and he's very nice, kind, and gentle. He's a little bit muscular, but I would say that Noah Beck is more so a golden retriever boy. And I would say, though, that golden retriever boys and himbos are very similar. The thing about himbos is that they're very much just like happy to be there, similar to a golden retriever boy. And I think that when we talk about like how the whole golden retriever boy thing is like also like a whole movement on TikTok, but I feel like the golden retriever boys are typically one archetype. Like, typically they are white, typically they are blonde, blue eyes. So Noah Beck isn't that, but I'm saying that's archetype, typically in a nice family, like a golden retriever family, typically is kind of in tune with their emotions, like is more so not going to have a toxic masculinity type of vibe towards you or anyone that and that's what I find interesting, is I feel like the golden retriever boys are very much like, because obviously golden retriever is yellow, not yellow, like blonde, so it's like very like restrictive, whereas I feel like himbos are also can be very like, I feel like typically you don't see a lot of black himbos. I saw a TikTok where someone said that you don't really see a lot of black himbos because a lot of black men don't have the ability to just be stupid and free, which makes a lot of sense. But you can still be black and have himbo traits, but typically whenever you see someone talking about a himbo or a golden retriever boy, they're going to be mostly white. So that's something to think about. But I do think there's no issue with the golden retriever boy, and there's nothing wrong with the himbos. I love them both. Lastly, I saw an article that was like, are himbos a cure for toxic masculinity? And I would say no. I think that the only cure for toxic masculinity is for toxic men to disappear. And I feel like also people don't understand toxic masculinity is so much more than just being overly manly. I would say that the amount of people that proclaim to be nice guys that are also extremely misogynistic and say horrible, hateful things to you the minute you tell them that you're not interested in them, I would say that is very toxically masculine. Hating women in general just seems like a toxic masculinity type of vibe, but I don't think that magically, one himbo is going to change the entire male species, but I do think that raising awareness, and I think that by portraying yourself as, not being crazy, and also making yourself be like, hey, I can be nice and I can be these things, and like not, have women be scared of me. Because that's a common thing that I see where guys will be, or nice guys will be like, I was nice to you, I was your friend, and I don't know why you always choose the stupid, dumb, hunky, strong guys over me. And it's because it's nice and refreshing to be with a guy that is just happy to be there. I don't understand why there's so many reservations on nice guys. Like, I think that there are actual nice guys, but then there are the nice guys, and we don't like the nice guys. But everyone has their own archetype of being with someone, and I think that toxic masculinity can be saved. Maybe not, actually, because men are going to be men and they'll have the audacity like usual. But I do think that by displaying and by showing off that, some people can be not horrible. So my phone cut out in the middle of me talking, so I'm just going to wrap this video up. But in the specific article, it says that the desire for a himbo is a desire to escape toxic masculinity without sacrificing the sexiness that comes with a traditionally conceived masculinity that looks like muscles, body hair, and sweat. I would say that himbos in general, like Hercules or I don't know, what are some other ones? You can comment them down below. But I do think that there is an essence of like kind of encouraging men to like not be toxically masculine. We see in media now there are a lot of guys who have very like open friendships and like are, you know, affectionate towards each other, and, you know, do kind of display, you know, not being so like no homo, like hate men type of energy, and also like hating women energy, which kind of goes hand in hand with toxic masculinity, as we know. But I do think that it will take a very, very long time for toxic masculinity to disappear. Just as himbo TikTok is trending, so is a trend where men are talking about how much they hate women, which for some reason is a thing that we do these days. But overall, I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because it really, really helps small channels like mine. Make sure to also subscribe down below. I would greatly appreciate it. Maybe if you get enough subscribers, I can actually purchase a camera so I don't have to deal with this stuff anymore. Who knows? But yeah, make sure to stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.